Hi everyone. So in this video, I want to talk about my current read, which is Anxious People. Yes, I read multiple books simultaneously, and along with White Nights, I'm reading Anxious People. So in this video, I want to talk about Anxious People. So yeah, let's get started. So if I were to describe this book in simple way, I would say it is the narration of the everyday life of people, but done in a humorous way or a witty way. So that's how I would describe it in like simply. Now, talking of the writing style of the book contains lots of contrasting elements. So there is a contrast between town life and a city life, between older generation and the younger generation, between what like normal people will do or what anxious people will do. So the last statement, the things normal people will do and the things the anxious people will do, is basically what forms the crux of the entire storyline. So the entire story, Anxious People, is about that last, mainly about the last part. Things normally people will do and things anxious people will do. So that is one thing, and yeah, and another thing that the that as a reader you will enjoy is the social commentary that is present in the book. The author has done a very good job with the social commentary. It's humorous, witty remarks about how certain things in our society work the way they do. For example, the banks, the media, the okay. So I'm currently like whatever thoughts I'm sharing in this video. Just by the way, they are like so far. I think I'm currently on chapter 25. So whatever thoughts I'm sharing in this particular video, they are like based on those 24 chapters that I've read. So yeah, I was talking about the social commentary. So the social commentary is such that it highlights, the like it's true the way the author has basically commented that how banks, media, and how not like Gen Z or the older people they work, the way they do, right? So that is something to look out for. Like you'll enjoy. I absolutely enjoyed reading that part. Very witty remarks by the author. So that is something. Then another thing is, yeah. So something about the narration of the book. The narration is done in such a way, like at multiple places. What happens is, the story, the way the story is narrated. So it's like things are normal, nothing happens. This is ideally how things are supposed to happen, and that's how things are going on. And then suddenly something big happens. So that kind of intrigues you, So that is something about the writing style. I don't know how I should put it in a better way, but like that kind of spike of excitement that you get when reading it, because it's kind of excitement, you can say, or the the kind of intrigue the writing style has provided. So that is something that you'll enjoy. Then another thing is, yeah. So another thing that I enjoyed is, so there is a father-son police duo that is present, uh, and their conversations is something that I really enjoy. And most of the contrast between uh, the younger generation and the older generation is, I think, being shown through those, through that duo that we have in the book. And you know what? There are certain things mentioned in the book about parents, or the parenting style. Not like parenting style, I would say particularly, but like about parents in general. That kind of sort of the author dropping truth bombs about the I don't know, like the generation gap that we have, and in like about parents and the Gen Z, or like about children in general. So that is something to like you'll enjoy. And yes, one more thing, like the story, the way the story is created, or the way it's crafted, it's like there are like, so there are multiple characters in the book, and each of those characters have some sort of story going on, like they have their own storylines. So in the starting you won't realize like what exactly is happening. So as we as you know progress through the chapters, you'll realize that each of those story lines individually, they are sort of interconnected. Like in all, it's one whole piece of like, so individually they are sort of pieces of puzzles, and when you progress you start to realize that those puzzle pieces are actually of that one single picture that they are going to frame. At least that's what I can say. So far as I have read, there have been some storylines which have started to make some sort of connections. So that is one thing. And what else? And yes, something about the story which I mean, which is something that I found relatable is, so if you remember, I mentioned that, you know, there is a contrast between things normally people will do, or the normal people will do, and things that anxious people will do, right? And that is what forms the crux of the story. So, at multiple places, you'll find the author mentioning that, you know, things would have been uh, like this entire story could have been shortened if the person would have done the thing in a logical way, right? So the person does something stupid or something in an anxious manner, and which results in the story playing out the way it does, right? But then the author gives you the reasoning, so sort of a backstory of the character, right? So the firstly you'll get a very surprising or a shocking sort of a statement that this is how things played out, and then the author narrates the backstory of the you know of the incident leading to that particular, the big incident that happens, right? So that reasoning is something you'll enjoy, because you know you'll get that sense of I would say, like, you will relate that, okay, now we are understanding the way the person did the things was right at his, like, if you were also in that person's position, you would have done the very same thing. So that kind of, I don't know how to put it, like whether it's the sympathy or the kind of sense of connection this reasoning builds, but you'll find some sort of connection there that, you know, like you start realizing that, okay, the person was not wrong entirely, but like, yeah, so the things happened the way they happened because of certain things that the person did. Okay, so that is something which you will realize. So like, if I can put it that way, it's like there are some fine lines only which, you know, which if you cross, I don't know if I'm putting it in a right way, but like that is one way of perceiving the story, the way it's playing out. That, you know, there is a fine line, or there are certain incidents that it takes, or in the author's word, I think the author has mentioned at one point, it's only just one mistake or one, so author has mentioned about multiple, like author has mentioned at multiple points, you know, it's just a one chance, or it's just a one mistake it takes to, you know, things playing from the normal way to the anxious way of doing things. So that is something, you know, that I will put this story as, that it's only just one thing that it takes for you to go from normal to being anxious. Uh, so yeah, I think those are my thoughts. I think I've covered all the points. So yeah, that's so far. I've like, those are my thoughts so far. Because I have read only 24 chapters. I think that's just 1/4 of the book. So I will share share more thoughts on the book once I progress. Like once I've completed, maybe, or however it will be, you'll get to know. So yeah, that's it.